If you're considering a move to Dunkirk, Maryland, watch this video before you make any decisions. What's up, everybody? My name is Rob Schou. I'm a realtor down here in Southern Maryland with EXP Realty, and the whole goal of this channel is to make your move to Southern Maryland so much easier. So if that's something you're going to be doing, use the contact information below. Call me, text me, and I'd be happy to help any way that I possibly can. So let's jump right into it. Dunkirk, Maryland is a place that a lot of people are looking at moving, especially if you're in the capital region and maybe you just want to get out of the hustle and bustle of that area and you think you want to come down here to Southern Maryland. So let's go ahead and go over to the pros and cons, and I'm going to start out with 3 cons right off the bat for you about Dunkirk, Maryland. Con number 1 is going to be limited amenities. If you're used to living in the capital region or a more urban area, I gotta tell you that there's not going to be nearly as much stuff to do around Dunkirk. Yes, there's your normal chains of McDonald's and of course Chipotle and places like that, Five Guys, but it's not near as much stuff as a more urban area. So if you want something where there's more than just chain restaurants, there's a nightlife, there's all types of stuff to do, you might want to look elsewhere because Dunkirk just doesn't have that infrastructure yet. And honestly, I don't think it's ever going to be that way just because a lot of people that are in Dunkirk want to keep it that like rural feel to it. Con number 2 is talking about that rural feel. While I love it and some people do love it, other people find it isolating. You can feel super isolated when you're moving from a more densely populated area. I know a lot of military families that move from Norfolk or even like Las Vegas, and they get down here and the transition can be really difficult because there's just not as much people and connection as those bigger areas. Now, if you think that's going to be a problem for you, look in areas like Waldorf, look in areas that are closer to the city centers, and maybe skip over a more rural area like Dunkirk because you're not going to find that faster paced city life in these rural areas. And con number 3 is one that, you know, if you're looking to commute from Dunkirk down to St. Mary's County or down to like a lower area of Southern Maryland, especially if you're PCSing to PAX, it's a long commute. So if you're thinking about, I will work at PAX and maybe my spouse works in DC and we'll choose Dunkirk, I'd caution you because that person that's commuting to PAX is going to have a long commute and a variable commute due to the Solomons Island Bridge. And you might want to look in areas that are more centrally located like Prince Frederick or even Huntingtown as well. So let's jump into the pros, and pro number 1 is going to be commute. Now I know I just said if you're working down in St. Mary's, the commute's not great, but if you're working in DC or Annapolis or areas kind of north of Dunkirk, it's actually a pretty easy commute up there because you're just getting on Route 4 and you're going right into those areas. So if you're a household that's working up in that area and you just kind of want to escape the capital region, it can be a really good choice for someone looking for that more suburban/rural feel. And pro number 2 is going to be the school systems. Dunkirk is part of Calvert County school system, which are regularly ranked high in Maryland. And if you look at niche.com, Dunkirk schools are actually some of the higher ranked ones in Calvert County. So if you have school-age children and you're looking for good schools to send them to, based on niche.com, Dunkirk would not be a bad option. And number 3 is affordable housing. Now, I'm going to put an asterisk on this one, a little caveat here. Compared to other areas in Southern Maryland, Dunkirk is more expensive. But a lot of people that live in Dunkirk are looking to escape DC, so it is cheaper than areas in DC in that capital region, Montgomery County, Hartford County, and all those kind of places where it just is a lot more expensive to find a single family home with some land. In Dunkirk, you can save some money by moving down here. The taxes are a little bit lower in Calvert County. The home prices are a little bit lower. So your cost of living, especially based on your housing costs, should be a little bit lower, apples for apples. So look, those are my pros and cons about moving to Dunkirk. If you have any questions or need any help, use that contact information below. Call me, text me, and I'd be happy to help any way that I possibly can. I really appreciate you watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.